What's good, guys? It's Khalil Jamar. Hope that all is well with you guys. If this is your first time on my channel, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video. If this is not your first time on my channel, thank you for coming back. Now, I know I haven't made a video in a long time. Life hit me in the mouth, but we're going to try to get back on track with this video. And then this video is going to be a little bit different than the videos I've done in the past. It's going to kind of be a reaction video to Pitbull Torres or Kevin Torres talking about his experience with steroids. If you don't know who Kevin Torres is, he is a fitness influencer, he's a power lifter, and he's pretty well known within the fitness community. And when I came across this video, I was kind of surprised just because I didn't even know he was on steroids. With that said, though, I am interested in what he has to say, and I'm interested in hearing his story. So let's get into the video.
What's up?
What up?
All right. Straight to the chase. Do you take steroids?
Yes.
When did you start taking steroids and why?
I started taking steroids going into the summer. It was my senior year for football. I just wanted to be the best, and I knew it was going to have to me taking steroids to be the best because I was just willing to do whatever it takes to get that D1 scholarship.
All right, so the D1 scholarship didn't happen. So take us through kind of the next couple years of your life.
Once I stopped playing football, I got a...
All right, so I'm going to stop the video there. I don't mean to stop it so early, but I do understand where he's coming from. I actually made a video a few months ago about when it's okay to take steroids. And one of the main points I was trying to make in that video is to not just look at the action, but look at the reasoning behind the action. Because if you look at the reasoning, it's going to give the action context, and you're going to understand a little bit more about why that action was taken. The other reason I do understand is because I played high school football and I also played college football. And in high school, going Division I to a degree, you're focused on going Division I a little bit more than you're focused on going to the NFL. The reason why going Division I is your best chance of getting to the NFL. If you don't go Division I, your chances of getting to the league drops significantly. And even going Division I, you still have a small chance. I remember looking at a stat back, sometime last year, I saw this stat. Of the Division I players that were eligible for the NFL draft, only 3.8% were drafted. And that's your best chance, 3.8%. So, you know, I get where he's coming from and what drove him to take steroids. And to even go Division I, you have to be good in high school. To be good in high school, you have to get playing time. To get playing time, your coach has to let you onto the field. A lot of time in high school, coaches will look at the way somebody looks and determine whether or not they're going to get a chance to play. If you look at Pitbull Torres now, of course he's built, but if you're talking about relative to football, he's pretty small. I think he's like 5'9", 180. Relative to football, that's small. So imagine how small he was back then. He probably saw taking steroids as his only way to get a chance to play. So I do understand, I do get where he's coming from. I'm not saying that was the right action, but I do understand.
Stopped playing football. I got a normal 9-to-5 job, was working warehouse hours. Even did like security at night, and then that was like I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I wasn't taking steroids at the time. I just wasn't know what I was doing. And then I saw like Instagram kind of getting big, like the whole Instagram, YouTube thing, and I was like, man, I'm pretty strong at lifting. Like I want to do something where I could I've always loved training for something. So, I used to train for the weights to get better at football. And I was just like, man, I love training for something. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just start competing, because I did a comp when I was 17, and I did really good, but I didn't really care for about it. Everything was about football. And so once I stopped, once I stopped competing, but once I got back focused again on the lifting again, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take it serious again. And then I started using steroids again after I stopped playing football. But I probably took about a 2-year break, and then I hopped back on, and then from there it was just it's kind of like a roller coaster. Steroids are like a roller coaster. You're really high when you're on it, and then when you're off, there's a lot of low.
Okay, so with this, I don't completely understand. Again, I I guess I can try to understand the reasoning. In this scenario, I don't understand the action just because it seems like when he gets into a competitive environment or something he starts to take seriously, that's when he takes steroids. He says that, he took a 2-year break where he wasn't on anything. But then when he started to realize that social media was blowing up and that he probably could make something of himself on social media, he starts to take steroids again. He also did say that he was pretty strong. So the reason why I don't understand it is, why not try to find out how strong you can get naturally? Why not show people how strong you can get naturally first before going on something? Once you prove that to people, once you show what you can do naturally, and then you're at that point where you want to decide to get on steroids, then take steroids. That I would understand a little bit more, but I don't understand okay, I want to take fitness seriously again. Let me get on steroids. Again, that's just me. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. He can't explain his whole life story within 9 minutes, so there might be other factors that I'm missing. But I don't 100% understand or agree with the action in this scenario. What I will say though is he's not being deceptive at all. He's not lying to anyone. It's just that I don't understand the action 100%.
It's kind of like a roller coaster. Steroids are like a roller coaster. You're really high when you're on it, and then when you're off, there's a lot of lows. People get depressed, stuff like that.
All right, so going back to that summer before your senior year of high school, can you tell us about your initial experience with taking steroids?
My first experience was with, I had a family friend I was training with, and he pretty much just told me like he could help me dose it, like keep it out of his house, all that stuff, so I wouldn't be getting in trouble with whatever with my family. So I ran a super low dosage. I got good results. I felt good, and when I was taking it, man, I always tell people like I just worked out. It's like twice as hard because I don't want anyone taking away like the work I was putting in, and I just try not to like think about it too much because I feel like people take steroids, whatever, and they're like, oh, like the rage, and they're just acting crazy. I just acted normal, trained as hard as I could, and man, I got really good results. And my powerlifting coach actually told me asked me about if I ran any steroids before the comp, and I told him I did. And he asked me my dose, and I told him, and he was just like, man, that's nothing. You probably didn't even feel anything off that because that's like what they give old men to get their dick hard. So that was like my first experience with steroids.
So is this lifestyle something you would recommend for the average lifter?
Hell no. Like I said, you got to guinea pig yourself on this stuff. Testosterone's been around for a long time. There's like not too much research on it, and everybody's different. Everyone has different agendas and different goals, and my goal is to be number one in the world, and I know it has to take with taking steroids because the best in the world are taking steroids. If they say it or not, it's just if you want that edge, you're trying to be the best in the world. That's what's happening, and I'm willing to take those consequences since I've started this because I've had a dream, I've had a vision of what I want to be in my life, and that's what it's going to take, and that's what it costs.
So this brings more clarity to what I was saying before. I said I didn't understand why he took steroids a second time, but now I do understand a little bit more. He said he was trying to become the best in the world. To be the best in the world, I'm going to just say this. The best people in the world, whether it's powerlifting or bodybuilding, the best of the best are on something. And if you're trying to get to that level, you also probably have to take something. Think about it like this. If somebody's the best in the world and they've achieved, whether it's a certain strength level or a certain physique, if they've achieved that, and one of the main components to achieve that is by taking steroids, how can you expect to be better than them without using that main component, steroids, which they used? So now I do understand a little bit more why he took it the second time. He's trying to be the best in the world. Again, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to take something because the best people are on something.
That's what it costs. So That's why I'm opening them up. I want to just be real with you guys and tell you guys, why because I get asked a lot, do you take steroids, whoop de whoop de whoop, and so just being open about it and honest. Yes, I do, and I know why I'm taking it, and I don't encourage you, any of you guys, especially you young kids out there, to take steroids because, like I said, it's dangerous, man. You gotta you guinea pig yourself. You have no idea what's gonna happen when you take that shot. So you have to be willing to die for this shit, pretty much, if you really want it that bad. And that's why I don't recommend it for the average gym person, because if you ain't trying to die for this, man, it's not for you.
So why do you think steroids are so taboo to talk about in the fitness industry?
I think it's because people don't want their hard work questioned, because people think that if you take steroids, you're automatically gonna like get big, get strong, shredded, ripped. Like, oh, if I take steroids, I could do that. So I think people just don't want their hard work questioned. And yeah, I think that's my probably biggest thing, because like from taking steroids, like I don't get affected when people say that, because they're just young. But if you've never taken it, you can't say nothing about it, because like I've had friends take the same stuff I was taking and worked out, trained hard, but I don't know what they did after the gym, but they didn't get results, and they were telling me like, man, this is not working or whatever. And I'm just like, like there's no line to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got, if anything, you have to work harder because your body's recovering. So the minimal.
All right, so I'm going to stop the video there. We're 5 minutes in. If you want to watch the rest of this video, I'll leave a link to the video in the description. But he made a really good point there. A lot of people don't want their hard work discredited, which is why they tend to lie about being on steroids. I do think there are people out there who are trying to be deceptive, but there are people out there who probably won't be as honest because they feel like they'll be judged because of it. People on steroids work just as hard, if not harder. And the point he was just about to make, your body's always in recovery mode when you're on steroids. So if your body's recovering more, you have to work a little bit harder because you have to give your body even more to recover from. So that's a good point that he did make. What I will say about that is that's why I think you need to find out your potential naturally first before getting on steroids. If you look at somebody like John Hack, nobody can discredit what John Hack has done. John Hack has found out what he can do naturally. He's shown us what he can do naturally, and he's shown us what he can do when he's on something. With Pitbull Torres, unfortunately, he has not shown us what he can do naturally, so we'll never know. We only know the work he's put in when he's on something. Not to say he doesn't work hard, it's just there's a little bit of room for people to discredit him. And people are always going to do that anyway. I think that he still works hard. I think that he's a great fitness influencer, a very strong guy. If you take a look at his page, clearly he's a really strong guy and he puts in the work. But for people who want to discredit his hard work, they're going to be able to, just because we don't know what he can do naturally. So guys, that's the end of the video. I do understand where he's coming from. I don't understand all the actions that he took, but I do understand where he's coming from. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and like the video. I'll see you guys later.